Listen.
Good evening, everyone. It's Dan's All About Arsenal. How is everyone this evening? There's been a slight change of what's happening tonight. We normally have our podcast on, if it be All About Arsenal podcast or the forecast on. We've got some guys, staff sickness, whatever it may be. The boys aren't about tonight, struggling, but hoping to all be back, getting the band back together next week. So, but I didn't want to disappoint and jump on because I know we do get some really good sort of regular viewers who jump in and get involved. So I've opened it up. If people are about for a bit of a phone-in show, if people want to jump in, I'm going to post a link in the comments of the live stream. So you are welcome to click on the link. You just put your name in, it'll come through StreamYard and it'll invite you in. Let me know, type a message if you want to get involved. All I'd say, you have to be over 18. All you need is a mobile phone. The rest of it will work for you. But in the meantime, if people are thinking about it, we're going to go through kind of some of the news from last week. The games, obviously, we had two massive games last week with Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. A lovely 4-2 aggregate win. So that was really positive from that side of things. And then we get into the events of the week. And obviously, we've got an amazing game against Sunderland. And then we've got kind of to talk all about Liverpool and Man City. So we'll get into that as well. So, but anyone in, let me know you're here. And I'm just going to chuck something into the chat quick. There we go. So everybody knows. Perfect. But we've got to start with, I think we've got to look at the table. So let's check out the table as things stand. So I think this is really important to kind of know where we are, because the irony that we started the weekend, and actually this image sums it up really. So Manchester City back in the title race, which is the whole thing that happened yesterday. Obviously, Liverpool can't hold a lead, even though, the Szoboszlai free kick was unbelievable, by the way, which we were like, perfect. Thank you very much, Liverpool. But they couldn't hold a lead, couldn't hit the target yesterday. But Manchester City, they're back in the title race after going 6 points behind Arsenal to 6 points behind Arsenal. So nothing actually changed. But I think it was that one game that people expected them to get back into it. I thought Liverpool could have done it. But I think they're still not the team they were. Ironically, even though this is something else as well, on that, Carragher saying squad isn't strong enough. Pretty much the same squad that they won the league last year, added nearly $500 million worth of players, but they're not doing too well. So it's the irony of the whole thing for me. I just loved it. And so looking at these comments, I'm kind of going to do a meme of the week almost. But it did make me laugh, some of the comments as well. But it's really interesting, to kind of see what people are thinking, what they're saying. And obviously people jumping into the chat. If you're watching, you want to join in, there's a little link in that live chat. You can jump on. We can have a talk and a bit of a discussion about this week's events, really. But as an Arsenal fan, we've got a lot to look forward, to real positives. Carabao Cup are in the final. Man City, it was always meant to be. How we went about the game was fantastic. But I think, we had a big weekend, and it was all about Sunderland. Can we get across the line? Can we go 9 points clear? Which we comfortably did. And I've done the sort of after shows and stuff like that. You can go back and watch on my thoughts on that. But there's bits we need to discuss, because we've got the running now as well. So we've got the next few games of Arteta, obviously the Man City games, and we're looking at who's got the easier running. So we look at these. We're looking down here. We've got Brentford's a big game. It's become a bigger game now because of the result of the weekend for Man City, in the sense of nothing's changed, as said, but obviously we need to just keep them at arm's length. As long as we're winning our games, absolutely fine. I think people are freaking out, and I know I've got friends and fans and stuff like that, people who comment and DM me about, they're worried. I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I think Brentford, we should comfortably beat them. When you look at what their previous results were, Nottingham Forest beat them not too long ago. They've had a good run, and they've had some good games, and they are sitting, in a good position in the table. They're probably, if it wasn't for the goal difference and Man City having that goal taken away, they would have gone above Liverpool. So that's how actually crazy Brentford are doing this season. After they've been a little bit up and down, but they've been quite solid for them. But we got Wigan in the cup at the weekend, which is, for us, a heavily rotated squad going into that game. and we should be comfortably going into the next round. So I'm not too worried about that. Then we've got Wolves. It's one of our only away games we've got. So we've got Wolves, I think it's Brighton away, and Man City are only away games. The rest of our games are going to be all London based. Even they're away, but it's going to be London based. So we've actually got a lot less travel to worry about, which is great from that point of view. And then we look at City. You've got Fulham, not an easy game. Salford again, they should be fine, on that game. But Newcastle have lost a bit of form, but Leeds aren't an easy team. We've done very well against Leeds, but they've taken points of lots of big teams as well this year. Forest, West Ham finding form. Obviously, the big ones when we play each other. We've got obviously the EFL Cup final, and they're going to be playing again in April. Hopefully, obviously with the Champions League stuff as well, there is talks about us maybe having to face each other in that, and we'll be playing each other so many times. But I hope it doesn't go that way because I just think it'll be far too much. But they've still got Chelsea to play, who are finding form. They can't beat Arsenal, but they have been winning very well against other teams. So Man City have not got this at all and have not been consistent. They drew against Tottenham for God's sake. So I'm not stressing, but I think we have got it all to lose. But again, we just got to look after what we've got, So I can't foresee any issues. But let's just keep doing what we do. Let's go and beat Brentford. Let's continue that. Let's put the pressure on them. They're playing on Wednesday. We're playing Thursday. So the emphasis is on them to go and get a result. It does put a bit of pressure because they could be within 3 points of us, and all of a sudden the whole rhetoric changes. So we just need to do what we do, look after ourselves. I think with the Havertz coming back has been a huge change for me. Him and Gyökeres have been syncing up pretty damn good, and I'm just really pleased of how that sort of part. And we've got like a whole new player back. He's been out for almost a year, and he's had 4 goal contributions in his last 4 games, which is massive. So all may it continue. He's kind of sat in that Odegaard role. Odegaard obviously has had a little bit of a niggle and an injury, and we're doing well. So we've got a City fan obviously in the chat as well, up the bees. I mean, look, it's going to be interesting running. I'd love to get your take on it and what you think as well. So I'm all for it. Man City fans, come and have a chat. Do you want to jump in? Links in there if you want to come and talk and let us know your thoughts. And if you're worried about the running for you guys, you're confident in getting back into it. Do you prefer chasing rather than being ahead? That's also something I've heard today, which I think is an interesting one. So, but when we look at the table, so as it stands, obviously we're 56 points. We're 6 points clear. Aston Villa, obviously, they dropped some points over the weekend, so they're dropping back. Man United, I mean, under Carrick, they're finding form, which is kind of crazy, really. So fair play to him. Chelsea, obviously, they're in and amongst it, and then Liverpool are miles off it. In fairness to them, so I'll be interested to see what happens. Brentford, depending on the game with us, they could be sort of standing still. Everton as well. Sunderland. Look at the teams that are in this top 10. It's kind of crazy, really, with all the recent results. A couple of questions. I'll fire them in as they come in from Sheree. So, how do you think Man City will chase the title down? I mean, it's an interesting question because I think obviously it's happened before. Historic, there's some PTSD that we've had as an Arsenal fans, the Arsenal crowd of City have chased before and have chased us down, and they have got back and won the league. So we know they've done it, but they're not the same team. They're not the same machine they were. And I think everyone's talking about the squad that we have as it stands. And we have got I would say the better squad. And I think it's kind of shown that most players are fit, although we've got a few big names, out currently. Saka's been out, Odegaard's been out. So those players to return are only going to help sort of bolster the team. But we are doing pretty well, currently without them, which is cool. But, let's have a look from your thoughts. So Man City, Fulham 4-1. I mean, I can see beating Fulham. Arsenal, Brentford 2-1. Okay. Sunderland, Liverpool. I mean, Sunderland's not an easy place. No one's won there yet. They haven't lost a game at home this season. So I'm not even worried about Liverpool. Liverpool are out of it for me. If they were going to ever do anything, they had to beat City. But Fulham are very beatable, even though they're top 10. When you look at their form at the bottom, so from left, it's lost, one, lost one. So, but Brentford are, they are in decent form. They've won their last 2 games, lost the 2 games before that. But we'll see. It depends who turns up. But we are a much more defensively sound squad, I think, than a City. So it will be interesting to see, how we react. And when we take a look at the bottom end of the table as well, let's check that out. So Bournemouth, were look at their actual draw, win, win, draw, win. They're actually been doing pretty well. Newcastle have lost form. They've lost the last 3 games. So they're way out of it at the moment, which is I know there's a lot of potential that things aren't right for them as well. Crystal Palace obviously with a big win at the weekend, so that keeps them above it. Brighton, Tottenham, it's interesting, but you've got West Ham have been finding some decent form. It's either win or lose for them at the moment. But I can see West Ham creeping back in, so I would love to see that as well. But let's see what happens. I think with the rest of the games going forward. But there's some interesting and funny things I want to touch on. Obviously, we've got a couple of things I'm going to just add this in as well. So, fans at the weekend, I want to get in. So, Tom Hiddleston, low key, celebrate one of Arsenal's goals at Sunderland. So we love to see it. We've got quite a lot of celebrity fan base, which is fantastic as well. And I think the other thing, which is quite, it's a thing. We want to talk about this guy. So West Ham tomorrow, 8:15. It's down to them. Can they can they beat this guy? Can they beat West Ham? I think they can. And this guy, I'd love to see him get a haircut on the pitch, to be fair, because it's been going on 490 days. Look at the state of it. But I think he's everywhere, isn't it? If you're on socials, everything else, that's just madness. But we've got yourself, let's have a look. We've got another bit in here. 1 second. Let me just bring this up. Okay. Why referee and VAR disallowed Man City's third goal on the 99th minute against Liverpool? The 2-2 Sunderland against Liverpool prediction is right because Dominic Szoboszlai is out. He got a red. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I was watching the game. I watched that second half was exciting. To be fair, honestly, I thought, and everyone talk about letter of the law and stuff like that. For me, just let the goal. I thought they should have just let the goal go in. I thought it was fantastic from Shirky, just smashing it. The fact that he got fouled and then he's fouled him back. I mean, it's a foul for a foul. I don't really care if he gets it off. Let the goal stand, send him off. I do think it was ridiculous. Situation, and I would actually be fuming if I was a Man City fan as well. So I'm actually with you on that one. I don't think it should have been disallowed. I think VAR and the refereeing is a joke anyway in this country. And I'm with you on that one. I think he deserved the goal. I mean, Sunderland, I could see Sunderland beating Liverpool given form. I could see it being like a 2-0, 2-1, something like that. I don't think it'll be a draw. And Szoboszlai, he's been huge for them this year. He pops up at the best times. He's had his free kick against us, against obviously you guys yesterday. But I just don't think, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think, I think Liverpool lose Sunderland, to be honest with you. So watch this space, I suppose. We've got a couple of other interesting things. I'm just looking at stuff I've saved really. So home form for us. Obviously points 32 first in the league, goals 31 first in the league, goals against we're obviously joint first with 8 conceded, 7 clean sheets at XG 7.6. So some of the good things we've got there, which is really good. So I'm really pleased with how things are going. Mr. City fan, obviously I've been looking at this as well. So this popped up in social media feeds as well. So Mikel Arteta, games at Wembley as a player, as a manager, he's played 12 games. He's won all 12. So are you worried? That's what I want to know. So let's have a look at your other comments. So Man City beat Fulham in 19 games in a row. Wow. All 19 games ended by Man City win and the next 20 against Fulham, and this is the next 20 game against Fulham. You can beat Fulham. You should be beating Fulham. There's no debate about it. You got to go and do it. Go and do it. Is the nerves going to sit in? As a team, I don't expect you to lose that game at all. But we have 13 games left apiece. I'll bring that list back up in a second, but I'm going to have a comment here from Guna Vinny. Hope you're well. Vinny, from this point in the season onwards, we'll stop this less points than City, which ultimately means we win the league by 7 points or more. Again, that's what I said, Vinny. Like, as long as we just handle our business, we're not going to have any problems. We just continue doing our thing. Let's not worry about City. Let's worry about our game. I think we just go into it worrying about that side of things. This is the running. So if there's any kind of banana skins, I think for City, I think it would be Leeds, and I think it could be Chelsea. Obviously, I think it'll be like us. It'll probably end up being a draw, but whoever does win that would be huge. But I could see it for see a draw as well. We need to go and show why we deserve to win the league and actually beat you. But when we look at our run, Wolves, Spurs. I mean, we smashed them 4-1 at home. There's not going to be any difference the way they've been poor this season completely. So Chelsea, we've beaten them twice just now, so I'm not even worried about Chelsea. They're a wannabe team still at the moment. Don't really on they're finding some form, but I'm not too concerned. We've got their number. And you look back, and there's another good clip where you see all the managers that have played Arteta, Chelsea. There's been the last 5 managers haven't won a single game. So again, we've got that sorted. Bournemouth again, tough game, but we'll win. And in the 2 City ones. So, and then we've got games beyond that. We'll fine. We'll be fine. Let's have a look. And we've got, what are you saying? We will see. Arsenal always rusty in springtime. That's the past Arsenal, and I agree with you. I think we haven't had the squad or the depth, the amount of injuries and stuff as teams face, as the season goes on. But I think, again, different team, different squad. I think we can. This is the difference this year, isn't it? Look at the times we've had big players out and we've had players come in, and there's not been a massive drop off on form. And I think that's kind of where we're at the moment. I think. But yeah, I think normally last time we dropped off was like Christmas time. Didn't happen. We didn't drop off. We've maintained that. We've kept it. We've kept it to the end of January. We're still top by 6 points, and it's kind of early to mid Feb coming up. We've still got time. There's still loads of games to play, and it's ours to lose. Essentially, win all your games, you don't lose the league. But City, I think, for all their form, I don't think personally it's their season, and all we can do is look after our end. But that's it, really. But any other questions, let me know, because obviously it's always interesting to get people's points of view. But I'm interested and I'm keen to see what happens. Brentford's going to be a huge game. Have a look at a potential lineup. But I think if we're looking at lineups for Brentford, obviously David Ray's in goal. We saw Calafiori come back, but he's not as he was at the start of the season, because he's had a really good season. He's been injured, and then we'll see. I think Nketiah comes back. I think you've got Gabriel Saliba. Then it depends. Obviously, you've had, the 2 players there. Yeah, Benjamin White. Obviously, I think he's been playing really well, but Timber's obviously favoured. But I think it could be either or. I think maybe White's going to play against Wigan at the weekend because it's that kind of game. Rice and Zubi in the middle, and it's kind of going this 4-2-3-1 at the moment. The way the kind of the new system's kind of been. So you've kind of got Rice and Zubi at the base on the pivot, and obviously then you've got Havertz has been in there as well, which is really good. Then you've got Trossard on Martinelli. Trossard may be injured, so it could be Martinelli out there as well. And obviously Gyökeres has been playing in the middle, or Jesus. So, but they've been rotating. But it seems to be whoever's coming on as a sub seems to be having the more success. But it's the finishers, isn't it? The class that's now coming on. So I think we will be fine. Brentford's got some good players, but I don't think they're again to the level we are. Even though we're playing a lot more games than most. Again, I think we'll be fine. FA Cup at the weekend. I'm looking forward to this week. Let's have a look. So, other question in. So, Man City have beatable fixtures until the game against Arsenal in the Premier League and Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. Let's be honest, we are each other's cup finals every time we're going to play, and that's the thing. It's always an entertaining game. It's always a game that's unpredictable. There's always goals. Both teams always score. If we can lock up Haaland, who's not been on form, again, we've got the best centre backs in the league, possibly in Europe, possibly in the world. They've got him covered. I'm not too concerned about that. But some of your new guys have been good. Who you've bought in, you spent some money, you've got some good players in. I like Gahey. I think it was a really good signing. You need someone more solid at the back. So how have you found that actually since Gahey's come in? It's a shame, obviously, you can't play in the Carabao Cup. So that is one disadvantage you do have on the cup game. On the league, it'll be interesting to see the difference of how that goes. But obviously, I love Semenyo's been a great signing. He's hit the ground running as well. Cherky, he's had a really good season. Reinders as well. You've got a great team, but I do think we've got a bit more than you guys depth-wise to keep going. I think defensively you've struggled, and that's where we are better. I think overall you've definitely leaked more goals. I don't know if it actually says it on the on there. So I think it'll be Points goal difference 32 to 27. Yeah. So we've scored slightly less, but conceded a hell of a lot more. So I think that's one of the things. Defense wins your titles. And I think that's going to be what we're going to play on as well. But I hope that helps. I hope that helps. That's my take on it. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let's have a look. I guess Arsenal will be spamming corner kicks against Man City again, and Arsenal will, of course, put their famous bus. I mean, you say that you took your striker off to park the bus against us. How do you feel about that? It's the first time I've ever seen any manager as extreme as a Pep do that. I mean, I was slightly embarrassed watching it for you. Um, Park the bus to save, a draw or a lead or whatever it was at the time. But so we're just good defensively. We defend as a whole unit. You see how everyone's getting back defending, and then moving forward, we've got kind of every part of defense into midfield to attack it works in conjunction, and I think that's the evolution that you're seeing through an Arteta. There is a difference. We talked about it on the channel before of how we're playing, and the Premier League might not see it, but the teams in Europe and stuff are looking at what Arsenal are doing right now, because they're every phase of what we do is being looked at, because we're doing it well, we're doing it better than anyone else. Hence, we're top of the Champions League in the group stage, top of the Premier League. We're through to the Carabao Cup final, and also obviously we're going to cruise to the next round of the FA Cup. It's not going to be any issue, even though we're going to have quite a lot of changes. Let's have a look here. Your your dirty Gabriel injury to the strongest Man City defender because of this game. Uh, I'm not sure. Okay, we'll see, mate. We'll see. But I think I mean, if I'm predicting results against the City games, it's going to be the big one, isn't it? It's going to be the big one. I think that's all we have to look at as, you know. Go all right. Okay, let's check next one. We'll stop Miley from goal if the Gabriel not injured him. If that Gabriel not injured him, yeah, maybe again. We'll never know. I mean, the next game we come up against each other, because what we got cup game first before we face you in the league. I think the cup, I think we'll win. The league is debatable, but you still need to beat us, and we need to lose another game. And I don't think we're going to lose no more than two. Who's realistically, I think, going to beat us? It might be some draws, but I don't think we're going to drop points. So I think that is the debate for me. That'll be interesting. But if we win in the Carabao Cup, if we go to Wembley and we win it, that just kicks us on to the next level. So I'm not too concerned. I'm really not too concerned. I'm excited as a fan to be in a final, to be going to Wembley, to be potentially be in as it stands, we're in a shout for the potential quadruple. So we're in every competition as it stands, and it's a good place to be in. But we'll see. I didn't see the moment, mate, that you mentioned. Got injury game, but now against Liverpool. Did you see it? I didn't see it, mate. I didn't see the full game. I saw the kind of end of the second half, because I was 0-0. I was really surprised at half time. So I as I got back in, because you keep a score, an eye on it, but it's not my team to watch. And I thought I'll watch the end of the second half, and it was a very entertaining game at the half, but it sounded like it was quite tough before that for both teams. And Liverpool generally dominate, don't they? At home. But I think it's the first time you beat them in so many years. So I think that's a big thing for, I think, Pep. And Pep, he made a comment, didn't he, saying that, Liverpool's his biggest rival, throughout the years, because obviously we've not competed, even though the last few seasons we've competed for the top spot for the title race, but we've been, dropped short, we know. So Donnarumma ground knee into because I've hit against Liverpool. I didn't see it, mate. I didn't see it, but I mean, there was quite a few talks about Liverpool and bits like that, wasn't there? But penalty shouts and stuff like that seemed to have been not really talked about. But I didn't see all the comments after. I was kind of one said, one it. I was like, yeah, you should have had the third goal. And I was a bit like, Liverpool throwing it away. They could have held that after scoring that wonderful free kick, which it was a good free kick. I think you got to admit, he's a good player, Szoboszlai, and to get that red card at the end is all a bit crazy, wasn't it? It was going in, third goal done. But what's your thoughts on other teams? Obviously, your other local rival. Do you think this guy's going to get the final haircut? Let me know. I mean, I can't believe it's been going on this long. But let's be honest, West Ham, although they've found a little bit of form, I really like that Somerville. I think he's a fantastic player and he's been playing really, really well for them. But I think Man City under Carrick have done wonderful things. Four games in a row, 4 wins in a row, including us. And that was a frustrating day. That was a frustrating day, to be fair. So I think bring it on. Bring it on. But that's it, really. So any other questions, let me know. Obviously, it was a potential phone-in show if someone wanted to jump in. But it was short notice. We had to change the usual format. So there's normally the forecast or the All About Arsenal podcast. So it depends if it. Myself and Josh do the All About Arsenal podcast. The forecast, we have 4 of us. We come on and we're talking all about Arsenal. We're talking about the last week, what's happened. And, you know, from the game this week, obviously, I've talked about it to death, obviously, on previous videos about the Sunderland game, which was really strong, really solid game for everyone involved. Obviously, we've had a really good summer of signings, and for me, Zubimendi's been one of the signings of the summer. What a player we've got! I'm very, very happy with how he is performing. But from that point of view, you know, he's the big part of what's changed. Obviously, Thomas Partey was the previous, DM kind of, if you like, but he's more than that. And when you even look, we've elevated his game. I think he's had 6 goals he scored and something like 4 assists compared to his previous season at his old club. So he's elevated. He might be more players around him, that are allowing him to do that. And you could see from the Sunderland game, it was take shots from outside the box. Rice tried one, very close. Havertz tried one, extremely close. And obviously he had his own pop and hit it first time, outside of the right foot, inside post and in. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful goal. And obviously to see Gyökeres scored 2 as well was fantastic. As an impact player around the 60th minute mark, him coming on and scoring 2 goals. Obviously it was set up by Havertz, and it was the goal he was kind of falling away, which he seems to be doing, where he's coming down. He put all his weight into the shot, and it was good. It was a good finish. And the Martinelli, last minute took the ball extremely well, and it was very unselfish. Martinelli passed it. Gyökeres held his run, and it was a tap in. But my God, what a difference it's been since the start of the year. And there was a correlation between. I've read something that Gyökeres, obviously been so much debate about him. He's not been up to scratch, but since the start of the year, there was a comment that he'd moved into his own flat or apartment or something like that before he'd been staying in hotels. So maybe he's now settled. I think Havertz is a huge part of the impact he's having. But he's had, I think, 8 something goal contributions, goals and assists, as well. So I think all in all, he's in a good place, and maybe he is the player we expected him to be. He's just taken a lot longer to bed in, and he's something like 2 goals off what's the Chelsea player from that side? Can't recall his name. Drogba, wasn't it? So he's 2 goals off Drogba's first season, and I know he's taken a lot of stick, and he's been, I think, a lot of people have talked about, but I think he's finding his feet, and as long as we're all firing, we're all scoring, we'll be fine. But bring it on. I'm looking forward to the game. So it's Thursday. That's Brentford. We might do a little preview show. We'll look at the squad, what our expected lineups as well. We'll go into it in a bit more detail, what our expectations on the game. We'll look at the head-to-heads as well, previous Brentford and their form as well. We've seen their form, I think, of recent. Obviously, they've won the last 2 games. We've won the last 2 games. Lost, won. We've done lost and 2 draws. So we need to continue this win streak. That's all we need to do. That's all we can do. So, but I appreciate everyone jumping on. I appreciate you, Mr. Man City fan, for all the questions and debate. It's always good. It's always, I love to talk about it. Obviously, if anyone jumps in on the phone shows, I'll try and give more notice. But it was just a bit of a change in what was happening today. So I appreciate everyone jumping in. Obviously, hopefully, be catching up with you just before the next game against Brentford. So maybe look at a Wednesday, little update on expected lineups, and we'll go from there. But for everyone else, I will see you in the next one. You Gunners. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.